GearNetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Pat G of the TTRP Turnbuckle Talk Radio podcast, and today we are going to be giving you a special treat. We sit down with the madness of Trip to discuss his upcoming match against Moose, the Impact Heavyweight World Champion. And of course, we talk about Trip's return to pro wrestling after he left the business in 2017 and what gave him that itch. And of course, everything that came with it during the pandemic and much, much more. You know what? It wouldn't be our return without some kind of issue.
Yeah, hey, fuck it.
You know what? That's fine. You know what? We're gonna pick it up right from here. You know what? We are joined by Trip discussing his return to wrestling after leaving back in 2017 on the special edition of the TTRP, because unfortunately the Zoom meeting didn't want to start recording when we started. So this is where we're going to pick it up, because you know why? We'll recap it when we come back with a next episode.
Because you're coming back. Yeah, you know what? This is the way the TTRP runs. We are by the seat of our pants. Trip, now a foray into acting and becoming essentially a teacher of professional wrestling to a group of actors. Mm-hmm. Was that the bug?
No, that wasn't even the bug. So after we started giving them a crash course in how to actually work, Doug, the owner of Bad Penny Chop Shop, who was also their set designer and props guy, came to me and was talking to me about a wrestling ring. I said, okay, your theater's not big enough. So he made a analog of one, probably a little bit bigger than a California King to my king size bed to my specifications. And after he built it, I took a bump and it felt like I was in a ring again. Like it was outrageously familiar. So again, 6-week crash course teaching them. We had 4 showings of this. And I do all 4 showings. The first half was very, very acting oriented. The second half of the show was the actual wrestling. And every single time main event happened and my co-star, I whooped his ass like I would whoop your ass. Like I treated it like a match. I was making contact, and I think I really got the bug after the last showing. I sat in the dressing room, and Pat, you've seen it in locker rooms. Dan, you've been there where you're getting out of gear and you pause for a moment, still partially in gear, and you're reflecting on what you just did. So I sat there, just looking at my boots. I looked up at the curtain. And very audibly, oh, fuck.
I have to say that is the most accurate thing, because I look at things from a perspective of having been gone for like over 2 years now. And one of the things that I think of is every time I do a race and I paint myself up and I look pretty, someone is like, I could see why you were a pro wrestler. And it's like, don't say that, because I don't want to hear that, because my gear isn't very far away from my house right now. And for you, was it more of I have unfinished business because you didn't go out on your back the way you wanted to? Was it more that you felt like there were younger guys now that you could tell stories with? Or was this more of let's go until I feel like I've accomplished what I want to do?
Well, so I think my answer might be an amalgamation of all of those concepts. Got so you remember it was your first show with us. In 2012, I had my neck broken. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I wasn't in the best headspace at the time, because I was actually contemplating getting out of the business, because the business for me was very, very ugly behind the scenes. But when I broke my neck, the script was flipped, because now it's, okay, this was just taken from me and I can't have that. So when I came back then, it was then like back in 2012, that was unfinished business. But this, when I did the play in May of 2018, I waited all the way until November of 2018 before I even sat down with the family and said, listen, I think I want to go back. I think I want to give it one last good run and put all of my energy and all of my effort into this and see what I can get to come out. And I got everyone's blessing. And then December, I announced that I was ready to come back. And a bunch of promoters were like, oh, you're coming back? Cool. Here's dates. Hey, this show. When are you ready? This show. I was like, guys, I'm almost 270 pounds out of shape with gear that doesn't fit. Please give me a minute to lose some weight, get back in ring shape, and get new gear. So when I first came back, I think I wanted this to be fun again. I wanted this to be new, but I also wanted to make something of this run. So like I said, I think it's an amalgamation of all of the concepts that you just listed. But none of it is really about a matter of like unfinished business. You're spot on though with the young talent, the new talent that's in the business. They're all phenomenal. Like every person I've been in the ring with. Riley Shepard, she is amazing. She is one of the hardest hitting, strongest women I've ever endured. Young Jay from he's a Grapplers Anonymous guy. I've heard several people compare him to Daniel Garcia. No, this kid is going to stand head and shoulders on his own, and he is remarkable. Adam Stone in NYCW, another phenomenal talent. I'm listing just NYCW talents. But Red Prince, God, he was phenomenal down in Pennsylvania. I've been in the ring with so many different people that I've never had a chance to work with. So yeah, the whole new young talent, the new talent for me, some of them aren't even that young. Some of them are guys that I've known for years and never got a chance to work. Rob Sweet, great example. I got to work him at the first Nickel City show at the Batavia Downs Casino. I've known him for over a decade, and that was literally our first match against each other. So like,
yeah,
it was like the match with you, the match with you. That was kind of more of the closure match. But then I had, right afterwards, I sit there and I get in there with Dakota Orion. So it's like I get a closure match with you. I get a new young talent with him. Bobby Ocean, I get it at the last UWC show. And it's like, cool, another talent that I've known forever, but my first chance to work. So it was, God, I'm getting excited just thinking about all those matches because I loved every single one of them.
and for people who are listening to this in other areas of the country, one of the things you have to understand is that New York and Pennsylvania and really this Northeast hub has become almost a breeding ground for people that you see on AEW, Dark, Impact Wrestling. I mean, you can throw a stone in any one of the locker rooms in New York, period, and hit someone who is either been on TV, been on YouTube, or is in the process of signing. And I mean,
you can even add Ohio to that because you have talent coming from Ohio like Sam Beal and Trey Miguel and MSK and everything that have been training with Crimson and others down at the school in Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
And it's an amazing smorgasbord.
Their teeth.
Yeah. So for me, I gotta ask, because we shoot on this one, we have had many conversations offline, both personal and character. You and I have talked about bullshit that's gone on in my life, bullshit that's gone on in your life, very personal fucking shit that maybe not a lot of people know about. When you sat down and you talked to your family and you said, look, I know I've been gone, but I want to end this the right way. Was there hesitation? Was there a thought like, you're going back into this? It was toxic for you at times. Or were they 100% like, we will back you, we will help you with diet, we will make sure that you have the time that you need? Were they completely understanding, or was there a selling process to this?
That's a really interesting question. And looking back on it, I think there was a level of hesitation on my family side of things, but I feel that they saw how passionate I was about it, how much it actually me coming back to the wrestling world, my mentality behind it was significantly different than when I left. My views on it now, the way I carry myself, how I do business everything I do now is drastically different than when I left the business. I mean, the business itself is completely different than when I left it. And it keeps changing. It keeps growing. It keeps evolving. I think the other thing that became a big selling point when I was explaining this was opportunity. The opportunities for wrestlers when I was younger were very limited. The opportunities for wrestlers nowadays are at an all-time high. And it feels really very, very good and very inspirational to see, your peers, Butcher, Blade, Bunny, as Pat mentioned, Trey Miguel, Sam Beal, who I saw when they were rookies. There's so many.
Sean
Carr, who, spoiler.
I don't think it's a spoiler if he's posting AEW pictures.
That's true.
But I feel for the first time in a long time talking with you, there's almost this, I'm going to get fucking emotional even talking about this. There seems to be this happiness to you. Like you genuinely are excited again for the first time in a very long time, taking this monumental move forward. And how has that transitioned into training? Because you mentioned a second ago, you were 270 pounds, promoters want you, your gear doesn't fit. Is it more than driven? Because you can't be motivated. Motivation is fucking bullshit. We all know it. But is it more of a fire drive? Like, is this your thought 24/7 again?
Yes. Yeah. Add extra hours to the day. I think about this. I live and breathe this. I could literally, when I was getting ready to come back, I dedicated probably 2-3 hours a day to doing DDPY just to get, make sure my neck was loose enough, make sure I could drop the weight. I dropped 30 pounds in 3 months. I came back in March of 19.
That's fucking hard. So applause to you for doing that. Like, legit.
Thank you. It's, I've been, I'm going on 10 years sober of anything hard this November. During my time back, starting last year, I'm actually going on my first year sober, no alcohol this coming November. I decided to just clean up everything about my life. And that included cleaning up how I had to deal with my own thoughts, my own inner workings, my own mental health. And I can't even say it's a matter of being driven. I agree with you that motivation is just bullshit. It doesn't really exist because, in those times where you don't feel motivated is when you need to get off your ass and go do what you want to do. And I've turned, 3-year-old Joe, little shoot there, 3-year-old Joe's dream of being a professional wrestler to the man now. And I need to accomplish those dreams and those goals for who I was as a child because I have to. It's strictly a have to at this point. I have to succeed because now since coming back, I've had more support from people around me. I have more promoters that would just sit there and talk the world to me. I have more young talent that come to me asking me for advice or to watch their stuff or even just to shoot the shit. It's a matter of I have to now because I don't have any other choices. Schwarzenegger said it in a speech. He hates plan B. Cool. I don't have plan B. I have plan A and I only have one thing to do. Listening to another speaker, if the why is powerful, the how is easy. Why do I want to be a professional wrestler? Because I don't have a choice. That makes all the training, the in-ring, the in the gym, the dieting, the being able to be, to date myself 36 years old and be able to keep up with guys like Myung Jae who were 20 or no, he just turned 23. Happy birthday. To be able to keep up with these younger guys or have some of the guys that are younger than me say, how can you keep going? It's because I want this and I have no other option but this.
Now, of course, you mentioned you did the playback in May of 2018, and then November 2018 is when you had the conversation with the family. Now, of course, going into 2019 and then, of course, 2020, you have COVID and the pandemic and everything. How did that affect your comeback?
Oh my God, COVID was a bitch. Let's be blunt. COVID screwed everybody over, especially the entertainment world. It's not even just wrestling. Your bands, your comedy screwed over everyone. And it was a massive punch to the ego. It was a massive blow to the drive, especially when they shut gyms down. It's like I made all this progress, got down to 220 pounds, and now I'm at home and I'm bored and I'm gaining weight. So, and everyone was selling out of weight, so you couldn't even buy your own equipment to work out at home. So the drive started to suffer. The mental health started to get significantly worse. And I sat there just grinding my teeth, frothing at the mouth, just, when can we open? When can we open? When can we open? For some places like Nickel City, and like Outbreak Pro Wrestling and Ace Fusion Championship Wrestling, the last two in Pennsylvania, they were still filming some stuff. So they would stagger when people would show up and still allow some guys to get ring time. But we were still trying to adhere to all the COVID regulations for like social gatherings, so we weren't overlapping with each other. So I still kept something because I couldn't let the wheels grind to a halt. I had to just keep pushing, keep grinding, keep going. And I developed this mentality where I was relentless with everything I was doing. And the other thing that kept me going during all of that was during COVID was a big moment of reflection when I looked around and I was like, wow, all the guys I broke into the business with, I'm the only one still going. Several guys that I helped train, I'm the only one still going. Several guys that were my friends and my peers, and we traveled together, they stopped. So it became this interesting point where I'm on a chessboard and I'm the last piece standing, and I didn't know what to do other than, cool, if I'm a pawn, I got to keep moving forward so I can progress. And I think in all of that, I found more drive, more reason to keep going, because while everyone else, not necessarily, I don't want to necessarily say they gave up, but they stopped because they weren't growing anymore. They weren't moving forward anymore. They didn't find that it was worth the dedication, that it was worth the time, the energy, and the effort. So seeing all of those people that I grew up with in this business stopping, I had to keep going, not so much for them, but so I didn't become to become a casualty, if you will. And I know it's a poor choice of words, it really is, but that's how my mindset went, and that's how it was able to just keep me going.
One of the, in recent times, things that I've done with my training is listening to a lot of I hate to say it in this context, winners, people who are these motivational speakers that you could tell the moment they start speaking, they're full of bullshit. Okay. Right. And then you get someone like Tim Grover, who was Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant's personal trainer. And he said, winning literally has a cost. And that cost is waking up at 3 a.m. and dealing with your demons because you know that you need this more than anyone else. And while other guys are going out and enjoying their life and partying, you're making the demons in your head at 3 a.m. shut the fuck up by doing the work. Do you feel that by doing this constant grind and by pursuing this dream, it gives you closure to be able to put the demons to bed, to be like, look, I'm driving the car. You guys can fucking sit back and enjoy the ride, but this is me. And basically looking up and saying, you're my bitch.
Well, so some of those demons I took out back and, gave them the old Yeller treatment. For some of the other ones, no, you're absolutely right. Like there's moments I wake up and, if I'm doing my 2-a-days, like on Monday, I'll be doing 2-a-days. I'll be up at 4:30 in the morning at the gym by 5. And then when I'm done with the shoot job, I'm at the gym at 5 o'clock that afternoon. And when I get up and I sit up and I chug my bottle of water, man, I want to lay back down. I want to go right back under the covers. I live in Buffalo, New York, so it's going to get cold. So I really want to go back under the covers. But no, it definitely is a driving force to look internally and be like, no. This right here, this one thing. I'm driving the vehicle. This is the fuel, and I have one destination. I'm on one road. I don't care how many twists and turns there are. I'm going one direction, and I'm just going to keep going forward. So no, you're right.
So which brings me to one of these wines in the road. You've got a large moose problem coming up in your traffic, in your road to being trip, your road trip, if you will. Dad joke. How do you, first off, how did it feel waking up last Sunday morning and knowing you're not having a match with Moose, you're having a match with Impact World Heavyweight Champion Moose in a relatively short time, and it's going to be at NYCW where you have a lot of this young talent that, how do I progress in this business? You're going to be, to a certain extent, a measuring stick for them. You are going to be a mentor after this. How does it feel to know that you're going to be standing across the ring from one of the best professional wrestlers on the planet today?
Oh man. So I'm going to give you the most intimate thoughts and how all this even progressed. So when NYCW was doing the last minute booking for the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame show a couple months ago, one of the people that was being talked about bringing in was Brian Pillman Jr. And I asked the promoter, and I was like, listen, dude, I got to be a little greedy. I've been busting my ass. I would like to work him. I would really like to go toe-to-toe with Brian Pillman Jr. I grew up watching his dad, so this would be an honor for me. Something with negotiations fell through, and that's when I got to wrestle Young Jay. And I was more than happy to wrestle Young Jay, knowing that he was trained at Grapplers Anonymous. And almost every one of those talents are phenomenal. Like, just hands down. And the way I approached the promoter was, I was like, hey, dude, I got to tell you, I'm feeling a little greedy right now. That's how I started that conversation. So fast forward to right before they announced Moose, I get a phone call from the promoter. It's like 10:30 at night. I'm brushing my teeth. And he's like, hey, how greedy are you feeling right now? And I got really wide-eyed. I'm like, what did you get Brian Pillman? He's like, no. How do you feel about wrestling Moose? I dropped my toothbrush. I also dropped my jaw. And it just blew my mind. I said, yes, absolutely, yes. Oh my God, Brian Danielson, Daniel Bryan, however I'll yes, chant the hell out of it. Yes, absolutely, yes, thank you. So we do the show. I wrestle Adam Stone, and then the announcement goes live with the audience that I'm going against Moose. So to your point, it wasn't Sunday morning. I found out 2 minutes after it happened, Saturday night, that Moose had just won the Impact Heavyweight title.
Yeah, because what happened was Alexander won the title. Moose cashed in the little trophy thing, and the minute and 2 minutes after it happened, Impact Wrestling was pushing it on their social medias and everything.
Oh yeah, and when that happened, I was already excited for this match, but when I saw that he had just won the title, that is when all that pressure just hit me right in the gut. I was like, oh, this is real. This is really happening. Oh shit. I don't know what to do. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know. He's 6'8". He's 280 pounds. Yeah.
Kick him in the dick.
That'll make the match really, really short. No, it was the thing that hit me was this is going to be the biggest match of my career. And I can't honestly say that it's justified. I can't honestly say that it's well-deserved. But I can say that if anyone has enjoyed my matches since coming back in 2019, and if anyone has seen the kind of effort I give every single time, I could literally go into this match and retire afterwards and say I'm good. Keep in mind, not happening, not retiring. But this is one of those, okay, this is a step towards the notion of us behind the scenes saying, cool, this is me making it. This is me really doing it. I can honestly say I am going against the Impact Wrestling heavyweight champion in a week, in 7 days from now, or whenever they hear this recording.
Yeah, 7 days from 7 days.
7 days. Yep.
So it's the pressure is there. But I'm not going to really feel that. And it's probably not going to hit me too much until I wake up Saturday morning and I look back and saying, did I train enough? Did I grind enough? Am I in the best shape I can be in? Am I in the best ring shape I can be in? I can honestly say that at my age, I'm in the best shape of my entire life. I recover better. I work better. Everything I do in the ring is better, but isn't enough. And Moose, with just the quality caliber athlete that he is, was already a great measuring stick. Now that he's the top guy of one of the major companies in the entire world, that bar is higher, that measuring stick is bigger, and it's it's going to be nuts. It's going to be intense. And the awesome thing about it is I know for a fact that when it comes to a match like this, I quite literally have everything to gain.
It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
As we get close to wrapping up here, Trip, the floor is yours. Promote everything you have. How fans, bookers can get in touch with you. How they can follow you, subscribe to your social medias, and the floor is yours to promote the madness of Trip.
Oh man, shameless self-promotion. It's one of the things that I'm best at. No, I guess, you can quite literally find me anywhere. If you Google Madness of Trip, I'm literally the top 13, 14 results, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I don't have a TikTok yet. Izzy may have convinced me to get one. Got a little kids. But yeah, just anywhere, even Xbox, PlayStation, Madness of Trip. It's who I am. But as far as where I'm going to be, I got a wedding today, trick-or-treating with the kids tomorrow, but in a week's time, New York Championship Wrestling, Whitesboro, New York, the Madness of Trip versus Impact Wrestling heavyweight champion Moose. Awesome thing. I have a working relationship with NYCW. There's so much mutual respect between the company and myself. Anybody that registers through me that is not from that immediate area, as long as they get on my list, half-price general admission seats, because they got to make the drive, they got to make the commute. So that's going to be a going forward kind of thing. So again, just hit me up on my Facebook at Madness of Trip. So for that, I'm going to be down in Florida the weekend of the 21st to do a wrestling event where part of the proceeds are going to autism awareness. The name of the charity escapes me right now, but I will make sure that I get that out there once I have more information. The following week, I'm at Survival Championship Wrestling on the 27th. And there's rumors of a little bird that's going to be there. Not entirely sure on those details. But he is pretty original. I'll leave it at that. On the 28th, I'll be in Pennsylvania filming for Outbreak. And then the first week of December, IWA Mid-South on the 2nd, Nickel City Wrestling on the 3rd, New York Championship Wrestling on the 4th, and then Nova Promotions in Gloucester, Massachusetts on the 5th. So as I said earlier, I'm relentless in what I'm doing. I want to get out there. I want to perform. I want to entertain. And as greedy as this is and sounds, kind of don't care. I want my spotlight, and I'm going to work as hard as I can to get it.
And with that, that's where we're going to close it out. Thank you to Trip for joining us, this special edition of the TTRP interview finale, or fantastic, whatever you want to call it. But we will be back later this week with a brand new episode, because as the social media posts with the Ghostbusters, we're back.
We're back.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.